Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Bay Rats and Buoys. I'm your host, Captain Gaige. This is episode number 74 in the studio, and we're only in the studio for a few more weeks because in just a couple of weeks, season 3 of Bay Rats and Buoys is about to explode. Big things are happening, big things on the horizon. Super excited to let you know about them all. We really are. But first and foremost, last week's episode at J&M Seafood of Issatalka. Did you guys see the videos of the store and the fish? I mean, the place is absolutely amazing. That is Matt and his amazing staff, Angelo and Rich, and all the guys that work there. They really bring a lot to the table. They've been doing this a long time together, so everybody is really good at what they do. It's not just Matt. But the good news is they have Issatalka and East Northport. So with that said, head on over there and check out Matt at J&M Seafood. You guys are going to love them. And, I mean, we got Easter. We just had Lent. So there's no better time than right now to go get some fresh seafood. He was the grand prize sponsor of Bay Rats and Buoys' first annual Striped Bass Invitational last year. This year, we got the second annual Striped Bass Invitational going down on June 27th and 8th. It's going to be at the end of June. And we base it on dates that other tournaments are going on. And we try to get a weekend all to ourselves, which we did. And we hope you guys are going to join. Last year, we had 20 boats for our first tournament. So we were very happy with that. This year, we think we're going to double that. So you're going to want to register early, get in. We'll put that up on the site. And you'll see commercials happening for that as we roll into April and May. So how exciting is it that we're finally coming into opening day for striped bass? I mean, I haven't said how many days it is because we just keep getting closer and closer. I know I'm going to uncover the boat. Good things are happening. We just had Chef Rob on a Zoom call. I'll try to patch that one into this episode. If not, I'm going to put it out as a snip for Bay Rats and Buoys. And let's say how many days. I just got it. That's all I've typed. It's 19 days away. Guys, we are 19 days away. They're already fishing and catching them in other places here in the tri-state area. I get that. People responded to some of the Instagram posts that we put up recently with Chris from Go Deep MTK and Brandon over at Causeway Bait and Tackle. We've done a bunch of podcasts with him from the Boat Show and the Ward Melville Show. He was the first person we ran into at the New Jersey Saltwater Expo. We were walking in. He was going to be walking out. He was just wrapping up. But it was a great show. Me and Corey did pick up some stuff that we wanted to get, which was great. We got to talk with Phil over at Goose Hummock. We made some really cool videos that we're going to show you guys. Very excited about that. Big shout out to Cito, because we appreciate you guys as a sponsor for the fishingleague.com. So you guys heard. fishingleague.com, April 15th, the season kicks off. That's when the season and the league start, okay? You can win any individual month. So if you don't put your boat in April, you don't put your boat in until the mid-May or beginning of June, you can still be in this league and win month to month to month, and you may rack up enough points to be on the leaderboard at the end. You don't know. So head over to the fishingleague.com. This week, I got an email from Michael. And Michael, I got to tell you, it was an awesome email. And I, in my response, Michael could attest to this, that I said to you, it's guys like you that we want in the league because of the email that you sent to me. And I think my email answered your questions as far as the species multiplier and why it is set up the way that it is, because you signed up. And we got to say, there were some really cool names that came in this week for the Fishing League. So the team names were the Hackin' Net Jobs. You had the Angry Panda, the Burgle Breakers, and obviously still what I think is the number one name is the Clam Slammers. John killed it. He nailed it. And it's great to see that the competition is already starting to rev up, and we're just 19 days away from getting out there and getting on some bass. Now, keep in mind, April is 2 weeks of fishing from April 15th to the April 30th. You have a 2-week window. Bay Rats and Buoys, the fishing club, is going to have a tournament for the club April 15th to April 30th. And we're going to have a 2-week window, which gives everybody enough time to get out, or if they get their boats, or maybe they want to jump on another club member's boat and go out. It's going to be awesome and epic. We're also looking forward to challenging some other clubs in the area. You got Smithtown, we got Glen Cove, we got Manhasset. There's clubs everywhere, and we found this out by going to a bunch of the fishing shows. So it was really cool. We had a great winter. We really did. Way too long, way too cold. String that goddamn groundhog up by his nuts on some pillar somewhere and make a trophy out of him, because I'm done. I'm done with winter. Just talked to Chef Rob. He's catching the reds down in South Carolina. He's crushing it, and I'll put up some videos here to show you. I also have videos that I'll pop up of some cool stuff that he was sending to me that we really don't get to see in our area, and you're going to want to stay tuned and check that out. So, hopefully, when you uncover your boat, you don't have to do too much. I know we got some rain coming, because I'm always looking at the forecast and just seeing what the rain's doing and how bad the weather's going to be. And then I look for my window to really say, okay, it's time to uncover the boat. You know, we got to, it's unbelievable. It shows from next Monday to next Sunday, 8 days of rain. So the good news is, in the 10-day forecast, at the end of it, we don't see any more temperatures in the 30s. So that's a good sign. That I like to see. I like to get it up to that 55 mark on Cover the Boat. All I got to do is paint the bottom, add a couple of things, and boom, she's going in the water. Splash down, and on the bass. That's going to be an epic start to the season. Looking forward to it. It was great seeing a lot of people over the winter at the shows. It really was. We've made a lot of new friends. We found out about a lot of loyal listeners that we didn't know about because they came to the show. They came over to the booth. They got to meet me and Corey, and it was really cool. It really was. So, the Fishing League. I don't feel bad that this year we're starting it on the Long Island Sound. And there was a reason for that, and good reason. We didn't want to launch a league and be all over the place so that it gets so overwhelming that it's not a good league. Got to be in control of what's going on and how big it is and how it grows. Otherwise, you can implode. And we didn't want to do that. The response that I'm getting from the people in New Jersey, and the response that I'm getting, and I'm talking about not only just anglers, guys that own marinas and bait and tackle shops that are super excited that we are actually doing this, because they were like, oh, this is what we need. This is what brings the whole fishing community together. This is it. And we're doing it on the Long Island Sound this year, which means all the guys on the Connecticut side, you can put your teams together and you could jump into the league. All the guys on the New York side, you could put your teams together. You could jump into the league, and you could sign up at any time. The season starts April 15th. That's when we're going to start to get points on the board. Okay. And if you head over to the website, you're going to start to see videos explaining the species multiplier, how the divisions work. There's 5 different divisions. But every day there's new teams signing up. And to me, that just shows you that there was a need for a league. It's happening. It's growing already. And we're super excited about that. We're also excited about the sponsors that we have. We got to give a shout out to Tony Maja. We got to give a shout out to Cito. You got Volpe Marine Service and Compass Rose and all the guys in the local area that supported our tournament. We're very grateful for all the sponsors that we get along the way, because without them, it's not as easy. So they make it a little bit easier for us because we got to give out prizes in a league. People got to win stuff. That's why you're in the league. And every month, one person from each division. So if there's 5 divisions, there's going to be 5 winners each month for the monthly featured species, which in April, it's striped bass. And in May, it's striped bass. So you have April and May, the featured species is striped bass. So you have a 2-week window in April. Somebody's going to win April in that 2-week window. Now, You move on the rest of the 8 months, the next 7 months, April, and then the 7 months after that, it's the same thing. Every month there's a featured species, and somebody in each division is going to be the winner. Now, at the end of the entire season, he who has the most points in that division, in one of the 5 divisions, is going to be the champion of the open division, the champion of the captain division, the champion of the family and youth division, the family of the team shore division, and the team solo division. Those 5 divisions will all have one champion crowned, and we can't wait. We really can't. This is very exciting. The feedback that we're getting from local guys are like, they just can't wait. They really can't. They're calling me all the time. Every week I'm on the phone with people putting teams together, and it's getting exciting. It really is. So hopefully you register your team. Head over to thefishingleague.com. That's been the biggest news. That's what we're working on this winter, making something happen. And Bay Rats and Buoys, this podcast has a fishing club that you can join and be part of. We're going to have another meeting next week. That email goes out tomorrow. This weekend, that email goes out. And next week, we have our second meeting. And just in time to roll out April 15th. I am going to be bringing a lot of the new lures and the new stuff that I purchased for this season to the Bay Rats and Buoys Fishing Club meeting. We do show guys what we use. Me and Corey are big on that. There's no secrets out there. You guys have been throwing the same 5 lures for your whole lifetime. You know what I mean? Everybody's got their favorites. I tell you every episode, every couple of episodes, what some of my favorites are. And one of my biggest favorites was from Nomad Design, okay? And the Vibes, okay? And I love the Vertrex Vibes. I do get the bigger versions. I get them in multiple colors. You know what time it is? You know, that's bound to happen, which is why you always have to have a Yeti cooler with an ice cold drink. And I mean ice cold. The ice is piled up in there. And I'm not worried about showing the logo. Everybody knows I drink Diet Coke. So we need a Diet Coke sponsor. They got to start sending pallets. Anyway, I show you guys the different lures, and the Vibe is one of my favorites. I even have the Vibe, the Nomad case to put them in, because I like to keep all my gear in really good cases, easy to access, because, again, we load them up on the TA clips while we're getting out of the harbor, you know? So by the time we hit the lighthouse in our area, we're ready to throw. And there's times where we've had to throw before we even get to the lighthouse. You know, we've had fish blowing up right in the harbor, and that happens all the time. So you really got to be prepared. And that's the point of this, is you still have 19 days until opening day. We got to bottom paint the boats. We got to change some oil. We got to change some filters, a few sensors, a few things here and there. Water pumps, little things that I like to change every year that I do. Andrew, who was in the club, and you hear about, he was the champion last year. The champ is here. He's going to help me and do some work on the boat with me, which is really cool. We got a few new things that we're going to install. Very excited about that, because I do like upgrades and putting new stuff on. The Go Deep MTK. That is going to be one of the new lures that we throw this year. I did not have them previously. You knew I was big on floater spoons, the Vibes, the Go Deep MTKs. When we take charters out there, we're going to be pulling the Niners umbrella rigs. To me, those are a secret weapon. Now, we upgrade ours, so they all come with swim shads on them and whatnot, but we do put special colored swim shads on. We use the chartreuse. We use the whites. We do. But we have some special ones that we love to put on, and they absolutely murder it. They crush it out there. And again, I tell you all the time, when me and Corey are going out fishing, or me and my buddies going out fishing, we're not going to go out. We're not going to troll. Trolling is when I got to take out clients and put them on some fish. Then once we're on them, the trolling rods come in and we let them float a spoon and catch them with Vibes and do it, and live line and do it every which way. But they might swing and miss and strike out. I can't tell you how many times we've put a live spot on the line, put it down, hand the rod to the client. There goes the reel, whiz, and fish is gone. Swing and a miss. Meanwhile, Corey puts it down. Fish takes the bait within 30 seconds. It's not even at the bottom yet. The fish is gone, and Corey will set the hook and hand them the rod. And they have a much better chance of catching that fish. But once you hand a rod off to somebody, doomsday. I like to say no, don't do that. That's when you're going to drop and lose the fish for sure. And happens all the time. It's just because I've seen it happen so many times, I say it's a no-no. Don't do it. I'm going to be sitting on the boat soon. I'm done with being in the studio. Do I love the studio? Yeah. Absolutely. I love being in here. I love my setup in here. Yesterday we did some podcasting. So I've been busy podcasting in the last week. I'd say in the last 5 days. I produced 5, 6, 7. I produced 7 podcasts for other companies. One of which is my business podcast at ISM that I host an event at Oheka Castle. And that was Monday night. And I got to sit with executive pastry chef Daniel Andreotti. And he's amazing. He's been at Oheka for 30 years. We had so much fun. The personalities were like, oh my God. It was probably one of the best guests that I've had on a podcast ever. He was the most fun, for sure. And we had Roger from New York 811, the executive director of New York 811. We had Jerry Ricca from the Pickler, which is a pickleball court out in Center Reach, which they're opening up a new location in Comac. Michael Cimbala we sat with from Hartford Funding. They've been around since the 80s, 1983. And who else did we have on? Then I went to Cardboard Memories in Comac. And Scott is an absolute blast. So when I met Scott at Oheka Castle for one of our events, he sat down with me at the castle and did a 15-minute little podcast with me, which is what we try to do, introduce podcasting to people, let them know what it's like. So we set up on location in the library at Oheka Castle. And so me and Scott became buddies. We hit it off, and great dude. And I took my kids over to his shop in Comac. He's in the Meat Farms parking lot in a shopping center over in Comac, on Comac Road. So we went in there. We checked out the store. The store is absolutely incredible. So I said to him, like, bro, this place is already set up. You got 2 beautiful chairs here. He's got a Knicks chair and a Yankees chair, and the logos can change. You can make it an Islanders chair. And we sat down and we did an awesome podcast. And you guys will check that out if you get a chance. I'll put some of that stuff up on my channel to cross-promote it. And then I did the sports podcast yesterday. So, I mean, it's just been podcast after podcast after podcast. I've been super busy. And with those, I'm actually the producer of them. I'm actually the host of them. So it's like there's a lot of work involved. And hence, I could have stayed later and done Bay Rats and Buoys to put it up on time on Thursday. And I said, you know what? I got the studio to myself on Friday. I got to come in here. I got a radio commitment. We got deadlines for March Madness. So I had to come in here and do commercials and put out radio shows that were due out. And they were due out today. So they went out. And then I was like, you know what? Now I got time to make videos for the Fishing League. We're going to put up commercials for the Fishing League starting this weekend. And I could sit down and take care of my baby, Bay Rats and Buoys. And I'm grateful for all the listeners. I really am. Even the ones that are out of the country. I mean, that blows my mind that people are listening in Australia. And I got to look up the stats. I got to look up the geographic locations and nail it for you guys so that I'm not just rambling off the top of my head. And the reason I know about the guy in Australia is he wants a Bay Rats and Buoys sticker for his boat. So we got to make that happen. We're making the merchandise happen. So I've been working on that too. There's just so many things you don't realize. Doing a podcast is a full-time job. Without a doubt, it really is. So to have a commitment and say you're going to sit down and do something like this and get 74 episodes into it and it's just blowing up, that's what it takes. That's exactly what it takes. So season 3 is April 15th, which is 19 days away. Every season that we start fishing again was the new season for Bay Rats and Buoys because I started it in October 73, 74 weeks ago. And it's really grown. It really has. Just like Jacob's business out in the Peconic has really grown. Just like J&M Seafood has grown. And it's just great to see when you surround yourself with good people in your life, good things are going to happen. And I got to reach out to a young man today who we spoke about this. In fact, I'll try to pay it a little homage. Do I have the paperwork over there? I'm not sure if I do. I actually did look for his message recently, and I didn't see it here. But he's hosting a striped bass. He's hosting, I think it's striped bass, fluke, and porgy, or weakfish. It's 3 species. He's hosting a tournament to raise money for cancer. So I think his name is Andrew. Okay. And Andrew is hosting a tournament in June. I think it's in the first week of June. I have so many dates being thrown at me with certain things that I didn't have it prepared to tell you about it. But I do want to give it mention, and I'm going to help Andrew any which way I can to promote and help his tournament grow. His heart's in the right place. He came over to us at the Ward Melville show. I told you a little bit about the story. He sees me out there all the time on the Cito boat and on my boat. And I can't tell you how many times me and Corey drive down the harbor and somebody yells over from a boat about this podcast. And, or we're in town, you're at 7-Eleven, you're at, you're getting lunch, and it happens. It happens all the time. I don't even have to be wearing anything. You know what I mean? And when I sit on the boat, I wear my white Oakleys, right? So when I'm driving the boat, I'm wearing my white Oakleys. So it's kind of like a dead giveaway that it's me. And we have a lot of fun meeting the people. So we got to host some sort of a tie-up out there this year. Something fun to do to bring us together, to have some drinks and a good time out there on the water. We'll figure that out. We really will. But I will put the information for Andrew's tournament in the description to this video if you want to check it out and help him raise money for cancer. I'd say enter and register for his tournament. Get in touch with him. In fact, I'm going to call him after this podcast just to go over some of the details and see what I could do to help. That's where we're at with that. So now, moving right along, we talked about the gear that we use. Manny from the West, he picked up a really cool rod at the Ward Melville show. He handed it to me. I was blown away. I was like, whoa, this thing is really, really cool because it's not a foam grip. It's not a cork grip. And it was really shiny and really nice. And I was like, holy shit, you can catch anything on this. This thing is perfect for any fish. Even jigging blackfish, didn't matter. You could use this rod for anything. And it was an ODM. I don't remember the reel that was on it, but he got a great deal on it at the Ward Melville show. So great job, Mandy. It was great seeing you there. You'll be out there shortly. You probably heading out in another week or so. We're always out the first week of April. So I say 19 days until April 15th. That's opening day. That's when my charter business starts, okay? So we don't take people out until April 15th on the charters so that they can keep the fish and whatnot. Granted, we're out before that because we're prospecting and seeing what the fishing's like in our area. We're also going to head out with Brandon and go hit Raritan Bay, which is like the epic striped bass fishing for the springtime, with all the bait that's there in the water. It really attracts the bass, and that's why they hang around, and that's why they're there. So the fishing is really, really good. So let's see what this water temperature is going to be like. It was a cold winter. I'm hearing a lot of debris in the water, a lot. So if you do head out, really keep somebody up on the bow, keep a lookout. You don't want to bang your lower unit off. You don't want to lose a skeg, spin the hub. You don't want to do any of that. So try to keep a lookout and be prepared when you're out there early in the season. Guys have been out in our area have told me it's not as bad as it sounds or as bad as they've made it sound. A lot of the harbors are already fixed up. The pillars have been replaced thanks to Volpe Marine, which you hear me talk about, Nick, all the time. So if you guys have any dock service or need any moorings, definitely reach out to Volpe Marine. You can head over to volpemarine.com and reach out to Nick and his crew. They're absolutely the best at what they do. And like I said, I try to keep the best of the best in my circle. I didn't realize it was going to happen when I did the fishing club. I thought just a bunch of friends and a couple of guys from the marina, we'll all get together and we'll do it. I didn't realize the guys that we were going to have in our club are going to be this badass. Their boats are awesome. The guys are serious anglers. They've been fishing all winter long down south. And I'm talking striped marlin. We're talking real offshore pelagic fishing, which is, what me and Corey are going to grow into this year on the South Shore a little bit. So we do plan on making our way out for tuna. We have mastered the fishing in our area as far as staying dialed in on the bass and the fluke. You heard Matt last week from J&M Seafood. He was out there fishing next to us, and he's using a color, and it's not working. And I tell him to switch it up, put this on, and he puts it on, and it's nonstop action. It's that kind of intel that really can change the outcome of any fishing trip. And you got to be prepared, and you got to know. It's like when I ran into Tony Maja at the New Jersey Saltwater Expo, I popped out, I grabbed the GoPro, and I said, come on, tell the loyal listeners, some variations in the colors of these spoons and the Mojos and the stuff, so that why they would want to use different colors, so you could hear it from the manufacturer, from the guy that makes the lures. He even had some of the old models there to show you, how they got dialed in and why they are as good as they are and how they got to be that good, And he's going to come out fish with us this year. Very excited about that. He did just make a new line of rods with Kidco Cheese and Blackfish rods. He sold like 80 rods at the New Jersey Expo. And from what I heard, the number of people on Saturday, we went on Sunday, and Sunday seemed just as busy. They said it was pretty packed. But 15,000 people were at that show on Saturday alone. So when you think about that, you think about those numbers and how big fishing really is in the tri-state area. The people that we spoke to about the fishing league were absolutely excited. They were so excited about it. They were like, this is awesome. And I just want you to know, a lot of hard work went into it. The fishing league has a book this big. It's this thick about the fishing league. And a lot of planning went into it. A lot of hard work. And now it's about to kick off and start in just 19 days. So register your team, head over to thefishingleague.com, get involved. If you want to become a sponsor, if you own a tackle shop, if you own a restaurant on the water and you want to promote this, head over to the website. Go to thefishingleague.com, click on sponsorships, and it's all written out. It's all right there. You can make your payment right there on the site, and you can sponsor the league and become a big part of this. Remember, it's 8 months. The season is 8 months long. So when you sponsor the fishing league, it's not like sponsoring a one-day tournament or a weekend tournament or, any tournament or any weekend event for that matter. This is 8 months of sponsorship where you are now marketing to the most competitive, serious, and fun anglers that we have in the fishing community for the Long Island Sound. So head over to thefishingleague.com, click sponsorships, and get your company involved. We'd be happy to have you on board. If you have any questions, the phone number's on the site. You could always email info@thefishingleague.com. You can shoot an email over. We'll be happy to answer any questions like Michael did. Michael, greatly appreciate you. We got guys right out of the gate. It was Cold Spring Harbor, Oyster Bay, just west of us. You got Glen Cove. We had Northport and Centerport, Smithtown, guys in Connecticut, it's going across the entire Long Island Sound. So Connecticut guys and girls, let me say this. We're going to advertise this thing in Connecticut, excuse me, because we want to get just as many teams from Connecticut in New York. We don't want this to be lopsided where the whole thing is just New York fishing the Long Island Sound. And the reason I say that is we are going to have a weekend or a month during this season where it's a battle of the states between New York and Connecticut. All right, this isn't going to be like the WIC tournament where it's a Friday midnight to Sunday afternoon and get out there in the worst weather possible to fish for fish that didn't show up in our area or in your area, wherever you are. We are going to make this an ultimate battle of the Sound. All right, this is going to be so much fun. Trust me, you're going to want to get involved. So register your team and have fun. Pick a fun name. Try to beat the Clam Slammers. I'd love to talk about your team as much as I talk about John's team. Cheers to the Clam Slammers. And that's it, guys. I think it's time to get our boats ready. I think we're all chomping at the bit. We're all scratching the itch. We got to get out there. We're ready. We're done. I might go home and bottom paint my boat. I might. Just because I want to uncover it. And there is some water on the tarp, so I got to throw the pump up there. So I'm going to have to go down to the office, grab the pump, grab the battery pack, throw it up there, pump the water off, and take the tarp off. And there's a good chance I get rid of the tarp. I use them for a year or two and done. I didn't even shrink wrap. I didn't. My boat goes away immaculate. It opens in the spring. It's immaculate. It takes me an hour to clean it. And it looks like it always does. So I got it pretty easy. Anyway, love hearing from you guys. Keep the comments going. The YouTube channel is blowing up for the springtime. A lot of good things happen there this time of the year. So you'll see now the videos all of a sudden, they start to get seen again because everybody's ready. We put up, you put up the word Striped Bass Tournament and, the video is going to get some views. That's how it is. Matt from J&M Seafood, everybody was interested in seeing what was going on. So they're checking out that video now too. And it's good to get the wheels rolling again. Follow us on Instagram. Check us out on TikTok. Those channels are all growing. I am going to do my TikTok live as soon as they get back out on the boat. I will be down there. Everything I do to my boat, I'm going to show you on TikTok live, and we're going to start blowing that up too. So we're really going to be diving into the social media this season for Bay Rats and Buoys and the Fishing League. Videos will go up this weekend for thefishingleague.com. Head over there, register your team. If you're a solo shore angler, you can register. If you're a team of shore anglers between 2 and 4 people, you can register a team to fish from the shore. How cool is that? If you fish from a kayak, you're not limited. Guys, the league is for everybody. It really is. It leaves nobody out. And we can't wait to bring it to the South Shore and New Jersey. That is next. This year it starts in the Long Island Sound. Very excited about that. Head over to thefishingleague.com. Head over to sandcitycharter.com. We're still booking every day. Somebody calls up and books a date. May and June is absolutely slammed. We're super excited. We can't wait to get out there. So head over to sandcitycharter.com if you want to come fishing with me and Corey. It's that easy. My phone number's on the site. You can text me, call me, fill out the form, submit the form. You're going to hear from me. I'm going to get right back to you, and we'll select a date, and we'll get you out there on the best tide for the best fishing conditions. And we will put you on some fish. Can't guarantee it because it's fishing, but I'm going to tell you this. You got a pretty good chance of catching a nice-sized fish if you get on a boat with me and Corey. Episode 74 in the book. Super excited. Thanks to all the sponsors and everybody that gets involved with the fishingleague.com. We love you. We can't do it without you. You guys are the best. And We'll be out on the water in 19 days. What are you waiting for? Go fix your boat. What are you watching this podcast for? Go work on your boat. Go get the bottom painted. Do something. Get your reels repaired. Get them greased up and ready. It's almost time to go fishing. And if you want to come on my boat, let me know. I'll take you. If you want me to come on your boat, let me know. I'll bring the camera. We'll make a cool video. We'll have some fun. We'll collaborate. That's what 26 is about. You wait and see the collaborations we do this year. Super excited, guys. Captain Gaige, episode 74, signing off, over, and out.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Bay Rats and Buoys. Be sure to visit sandcitycharter.com and follow Captain Gaige on all our social media channels.